Hang on. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be on Sunday night. Where tonight, technical gremlins notwithstanding, we are at Nürburgring Grand Prix layout for the first time ever. 5 years we've been waiting, and as we finally got here, and even my overlays are struggling tonight. So that's where we are. But I'm Alex McKellar, and joining me as always is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of racing ahead, mate.
Indeed, it is, Alex, and a nice strength of field, which is definitely contrary to the last couple of weeks. A 44-24. Can you believe it? We're back in the 4K range, and I am super excited to see what our Skippy drivers can do around the Nürburgring GP.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just trying to get things up and running here. Having a few problems. There we go. Hopefully that's sorted us all out. We're in a quali, and some of our regulars have come out, and the new track, I guess, to the series has drawn a few out as well. We're back up over the 4.5k mark for the strength of field tonight, which or 4.4 at least, near enough to it, which is great. It's about our season average, which is good. Julia Frey joins us as the first seated driver out there on track tonight. Ludwig Guidi makes his return for Movano Sim Racing as the two. Giuseppe Tellini, who's having a good season, and apparently now drives for Doctors Wave Italy. New addition there, folks. You can get your team name and everything in the overlay. Just check out the Top Split Discord to find out how in the SNL registration forum. Nick Vaughan Roberts, Two Fools Racing. The Welshman is no stranger to Skippies, but if I'm not mistaken, it might be his first night here on a Sunday night. Guy Kawabe from Japan, Kawabe-san, joins us once again. He's been having a good season, as has Corey Lean, the leading ANZ driver in terms of ratings. He's sixth in terms of seedings here tonight. Nathan Wade from UK and I joins us once again. Danny Carvial, the Iberian, in the nine-plated car, and I can't see 10 because he doesn't look to have joined us. Cody Iglesias, another Iberian, but not in the server yet, Corey.
That's right, Alex. But our 10th plated car here tonight is going to be uh, Conti Inglesias, also from Iberia. He's going to be in the 10th plated car. We've got Xavier Sanchez as the 11th plated car here, also from Iberia. Gonzalo Ferreira in the 12th plated car. And we got Christian Loher in the 13th plated car here tonight from DEATCH. Good to see him out here. Vasco Sorowski from Oz NZ Club. He's been having a stellar season of his own, consistently been in the top split. Good to see him back. Simone Zamolo from Italy in the 15 plated car. Very quick driver we were talking about earlier, very aggressive. Hopefully keeps their nose clean here tonight. Braden Martin from the Locked On lads back here tonight as well in the Oz NZ Club, number 16. And just sneaking into the field as a 17th plated car, Hiroshi Ueda from Japan, Alex.
Oh, the Japanese driver. Now, I've seen Ueda on many an official Skippy race, but I'm not sure I've ever seen him crack it for a run in Sunday Night Lights. This is just representing really how strongly the Japanese club is doing. There's a good community built around the likes of Toshimasa Hanada and Nagai-san, of course, we're familiar with, Kawabe-san, and more recently, there's been some new drivers coming in, and Ueda's the latest for the Japanese club to have a crack. But meanwhile, drivers coming around to finish their first laps in quali. Leading the way in terms of track distance covered is Braden Martin as he comes around the final turn 15 to cross the start finish line for his first of two flying laps. It's actually Lean who gets there first. Wade, I've miscounted the timings there, but Martin jumps to the top. He likes his track, does the Locked On iRacing driver, and already, although he's starting to get bumped as Geedy drops, what's that, a 2:18.8. Fantastic first lap around here, Corey.
Yeah, that is a very quick time around here, Alex, as we're still getting a few more people coming in. Nick Vaughan Roberts currently sitting there in P2 is Giuseppe Tellini sitting in third. There's a couple of slowdowns here, especially towards the end of the laps, that could really cost some of these drivers big time. Looks like so far 14 of the drivers have made it through. Still waiting on Matic Iglesias and Sanchez to put down laps. But I'm sure they'll get there before too long here, Alex.
Yeah, Glacius not yet joined the server, which would make setting a lap hard. But Corey Lean yet to set a really good one. Leading ANZ driver in the standings this season. In fact, hasn't set a time yet. Did a 19.7, but must have... oh, no, I beg your pardon. He's sitting in ninth. There you go. But it is actually Vasco Sorowski leading the ANZ charge after the first of 2 hot laps. And interesting to see what he can do. But, of course, Geedy right up the top of the pops. Kawabe-san, who doesn't mind a bit of Nerve GP, if you don't mind. He's sitting in 5th after 1 lap.
Yeah, we've actually got both the other Oz and Z boys in front of Corey Lean at the moment, with Braden Martin sitting there in P7 at the moment, Alex, which is quite the honourable effort there for Braden, the locked-on iRacing driver, as he's coming through. That's is the back straight there, coming to the little kink here, turn 13, heading into the final section of the lap. But I do believe it's going to be the 6 car, Corey Lean, who is going to be setting the first of his second laps here, Alex.
Yeah, let's see what the ANZ's leading charge in the championship can do for his second lap. Only managed P9 on his first. What's he got in store for us the second time round as he rounds the final corner? Nathan Wade will probably just cross before him, but can he beat him? That's the question. As Lean crosses the line now, what does that look like? Jumps him up to P6. What's Martin got? No, he's pulled over. There's a couple now. Oh, there's a few that have pulled over and either binned their laps or just decided that was it. Vaughan Roberts jumps up to P2 for Two Fools Racing. Full 10th behind Geedy's first lap. It's Julian O'Fray. There you go. It says France, but I believe he's from Belgium, if I'm not mistaken, and he just does a practice start there. Simone Zamolo, he's coming around. Oh, he's done too. Xavier Sanchez, Kenny 500, I think it is, on Twitch. He's just done his second lap. Only managing 12th, though, at this stage. As the clock starts to run down, Rueda's doing a warm-down lap. Everyone's set their times. The end of the session, so why don't we take a look at the grid for round 11 of Season 24 Sunday Night Lights for the first time from Nürburgring GP. Julian O'Fray set pole with a 2:18.6. He did actually blitz him there. Fantastic drive from O'Fray. Ludwig Geedy returns from Ivano Sim Racing. He starts from the other spot on the front row of the grid. In second, Nick Vaughan Roberts for Two Fools Racing starts on the second row in third, as does Vasco Sorowski in his best qualifying performance and leading the ANZ charge tonight off the grid. George Maddock from UK&I in fifth, and joining him on the third row is Giuseppe Tellini for Doctors Wave Italy. Kawabe-san, Gol Kawabe starts out of seventh for Japan. Joining him on the fourth row will be Nathan Wade from UK&I. Corey Lean, the ANZ driver, starts out of ninth. Danny Carvial, the Iberian, out of 10th. Braden Martin probably wasn't happy with that qualifying performance, starting all the way down on P11 tonight. Xavier Sanchez joins him on the sixth row as we go over the page. 13th tonight was Simone Zamolo from Italy. Gonzalo Ferreira from Iberia in 14th. 15th, Hiroshi Ueda in his debut. Here on a Sunday night, Christian Loa out of 16th. And last on the grid, Gotti Iglesias, who I believe has joined the server, Corey, so he's right to go. 11 laps ahead of us, Corey. Great track in a Skippy. Long overdue to see the damn thing on the schedule. Glad it's here.
That's exactly right, Alex. As the revs start rising, the red lights mean rev, and the green lights mean go. We're underway here for round number 11 of Season 24 of Sunday Night Lights here for the Nürburgring GP, and already a fray taking the very defensive line all the way down to the inside as they come thundering down the front straight into the very hard braking zone of turn one. This is generally where we can see some tears, and there's already some contact there for Giuseppe Tellini, Alex.
Yeah, Tellini, although everyone seems to have got through okay, O'Fray leads them away from Roberts. And as they come through the tail end of the stadium section, they're still 2x2 in places behind. Most of the field getting through okay. A little bit of crunching, but yeah, everyone survived by the looks, which is great. One long string of skippies to kick this one off, Corey.
That's right, Alex. And in the warm-up race, we saw it devolve into pockets of excitement. And let's hope we can get just a little bit bigger pockets than what we had in that one. It was usually 3x3 there, but at the moment, everyone is going nose to tail at the moment. No one's making too big of a move at the moment. So it looks like everyone maybe just trying to rest on their laurels here a little bit, Alex, and maybe try and save their stuff for later in the race.
Yeah, potentially. Long one here. And look, it's a big pack. We haven't lost anyone. The entire field covered by about, what's that, 6 seconds? Although Carvial, I think he's gone, is he? No, he's in the midst there. I've just, it's reporting him as a lap down, weirdly. It just must be my internet, I think. Anyway, up the front, we've got O'Fray and Geedy and Roberts, the same trio who led and fought out the previous warm-up race here tonight. Looking to get back to it straight away. Maddock this time joining them along with Swarovski and Kawabe. They were in a separate pack last race, but look at this. All 17 drivers in single file as they approach the final chicane on lap 1. Here's where you get amongst it. Although everyone, what's the checkups like? Everyone's sort of playing nicely. No shopping cart action. Everyone gets through on lap number 1, Corey. Fantastic effort by this field.
Yeah, indeed it is, Alex. So we still do have one more corner to go. That final corner, long sweeping right-hander. Although it is pretty easy to negotiate, and everyone looking like they're coming through it. But now here's the real test, Alex. Everyone's going to be in that draft coming down the front straight here as Afray leads the first lap. And here comes Ludwig Geedy trying to make the move down into the very tight turn number 1.
Gets it done on the inside of 1. Into the stadium section they go. O'Fray looking to come back at him a little bit. I hear some crunching in the background. I saw Lean dropping like a stone. Any money he picked up a slowdown in that last chicane for sure. And that's cost him dearly. He will struggle to move forward in this quality field as we see a front pack of 6 drivers with Kawabe-san on the tail with a gap opening up to Nathan Wade in 7th. You can see they have broken up. Wade now leading a hard-charging secondary pack from 8th down, but still a long line of skippies, all looking to be very competitive here tonight, Corey.
That's right, Alex. I mean, we don't say that we've gathered the best skippy drivers that we could find on the service for nothing. These guys putting it all out there already, and it looks like the top 6 right now just biding their time here a little bit. I'm going to just have a quick little squiz over at this second pack. So it looks like Abiel is about to take over the lead of that second pack, making the move on the inside of the Dunlop handpin. And I think Braden Martin just went for a spin at the back of it, although it might not have been Braden, but another car very similarly coloured, Alex.
Yeah, Iglesias it was. Let's check out what happened. Lean coming up the outside into the turn 7 hairpin, and he's just overcooked it. Iglesias, unfortunately, then got on the dirt, came across the track. Oh, everyone has managed to avoid him. Fantastic effort by the other drivers. Poor old Iglesias making his debut. He's come away second best, that's for sure, as the front pack now heads up to the final chicane at 13:14 for the second of 11 laps here tonight. And again, playing very nicely, very gentlemanly, although the tighter line, slightly defensive there for O'Fray, who costs himself a little bit on exit. But there again, it does not come under attack from Roberts. It's behind. It's all happening. 2x2 on the exit, if you don't mind. 3 wide into the final corner, was it? No, just 2x2. These boys really mixing it up here out of that final chicane. You normally expect to see it on the entry into the final chicane, perhaps not so much on the exit, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. But I think with these guys still coming up to temperatures with their tyres and everyone not really having a clear idea on how to race this track as they go 3 wide now into turn number 1. Xavier Sanchez on the inside pulls the pants down on everyone that was at the front there. He's going to take control, although, he's still 3 wide on exit and a little bit of contact there. Everyone managing to come out of it unscathed. Carvajal is taking a lead on it, but here comes Xavier Sanchez up on the inside of him, going into turn number 3, and that's going to come the outside for 4, and he's just going to have to hold on to that 8th position there, Alex.
Yeah, these guys really getting amongst it early. Of course, it's cost them any chance of getting towards that top 5, but they're certainly having some fun out there, if nothing else, as the noses are being poked anywhere and everywhere on this track. There are some key passing locations, into turn 1, obviously the best of them. probably down into this next hairpin if you game. Certainly into turn 10, you get a remarkable amount of draft. Coming out of this turn 7 hairpin, you get an enormous toe up the hill through the Schumacher S's into turn 10. You can get a move done there, and of course the final chicane is the best of the rest in terms of passing opportunities, and even you can get it done around the final corner depending on how you attack the final chicane. Meanwhile, back up front, speaking of turn 10, Vaughan Roberts runs very wide as they were a bit sideways through there. He, most of all, was Roberts there, the yellow liveried machine. He's managed to hang on to the guys in front, but certainly an exciting ride.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I was just keeping my eye on the second pack there. Coming through turn 11, a little bit of contact between the two Aussies of Martin and Lean. And they just about had a big little mischief there, but they have fallen off the back of this second pack as the battles are still continuing. Xavier Sanchez taking the outside of that final chicane, which is going to become the inside for the final corner. Also looks like Tellini wanting to try and make that 3 wide. He thinks better of it in these early stages, but this race is definitely still on in this second pack.
Yeah, of course, what that will do is bring the ANZ drivers back into it. And if they can sort themselves out, you blokes from the same club trying to get some good points. Both of them in the hunt for a podium, a top 5, if not a podium in the championship, certainly in the case of Lean. Martin making his debut in the top 5 for the championship overall as of last week, and now they are indeed back onto that pack. And that's what it does, you know, side by side, here, there and everywhere, brings folks that wouldn't otherwise be in it back into the race. Speaking of the race, it's on again up front. These guys line astern for the most part as they head out of the stadium section down into turn 5. This combination of 5, 6, very interesting. You barely have to brake. Just get the car to rotate through 5, a little bit firmer, down into second gear through 6, and then the long run down into this turn 7 hairpin, where once again, you're not typically under threat here. The draft doesn't really get people too interested, although Matic showing the nose on O'Fray just to make sure he knows he's there as O'Fray takes the tight line to the apex. Could cost him exit speed, given that, as I said, the toe up the hill here makes turn 10 a genuine passing opportunity. Perhaps might want to rethink that later in the race, Corey.
He might definitely have to do that, Alex, because you know, coming down the hill, going into the hairpin there, you know, you helped out with the whole section there being downhill. That's why the draft isn't really too strong there. Coming up the hill, the Skippy struggles for that little bit of pace, and having the wind cut down by the cars ahead is definitely helping him out there. And, you know, Matic actually doing pretty good. He's gone around Vaughan Roberts there for the 3rd position at the end of the last lap. And I reckon he's going to be on a charge here to try and get around Afray pretty quickly here, Alex, as he's poking the nose out. Afray also having a look to make a move here coming into the final chicane. And he gets that move made very early, Alex.
Well, absolutely. The Movano Racing driver of Ludwig Getty facilitated that pass, but then defends hard from Matic. As we jump back to the second pack, what's going on back here? They're getting busy as Lean trying to recover from that earlier mishap. Now comes up the inside and dead set turns. Oh, I don't know who turned in, or did the 7 turn down on him, Nathan Wade, or was Lean there? It's hard to say, but they continue to fight another day nonetheless. Lean now sitting in 9th on his way back from a monumental slowdown in the beginning stage. That, of course, then cost Braden Martin almost as 3 wide in the background, if you don't mind. That's what turn 1 here at the GP layout of Nürburgring does. And they do get it sorted out the back there, so well played, everyone. As back up front, we've got the hard defending Ludwig Getty, it was, into the final corner. Shuffled Matic back at least 1 position down into 4th, as O'Fray still sitting pretty in 2nd, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I reckon something actually happened there in that second pack before we caught up to them coming out of that final chicane. Because Xavier Sanchez, who was right in that battle in the second pack, dropped all the way down to 12th position now. So unsure what's happened to him there. Our front pack itself has actually devolved down to 5 cars now. As looks like Kawabe-san is on the back of that one. Savoski and landed all of his own, sitting in behind these guys in P6 at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, let's go and see if we can find out what happened to Xavier Sanchez. He was on the outside. Oh, he just spun all his own through 10. Rear of the car let go, and he spent about 5.5 seconds on the grass. Oh, how's the re-entry? Everyone manages to get through. Yeah, but that's what happened to Sanchez. Unfortunately, lost the rear through 10, as can happen if you carry a bit too much speed. And you don't want to run too wide there because the rear of the car will get loose regardless. And he looks like he's slept on a little bit of brake mid-corner, and that's let the rear go. As up front now we have Guidi now, O'Fray. They seem to be quite settled, as you say, Kawabe-san on the back of this pack. Meanwhile, the Sekback's strung out a bit more. Swarovski running his own race. You've got Carvial, the Iberian, Lean getting it done there in front of Tellini. Once again, Lean. I said he was out of it after that big slowdown, but he certainly wants to get up as far up the order as he can.
Alex, in the
big
background,
one.
back at the hairpin, the chicane there. I
Big
just
one.
saw that in the background of the shot that I saw, the 13 car involved in that one. Christian Lower, and that's a very crabby looking skippy that he's got there, Alex.
Yeah, just watching the replay, the 7 car gets into the rear of him, I'm going to guess. Into 11, does he? No? Oh, he will this time for sure. Yeah, under the rear. Turns him in the middle of the chicane, if you don't mind. And then he doesn't quite grab the brakes yet. Then he does, and they're struggling to get around him. And then it's all stations go for the panel beaters tomorrow night. Oh, that's messy. That is messy for those boys. Oh, then the next guy comes through and they manage to get it there. Yeah, look, that can happen there in that chicane, of course. But back up front now, we've got O'Fray, Guidi and Maddock, Roberts and Kawabe-san doing what he does best this season, just sitting there waiting for his opportunity in the closing stages.
Yeah, Kawabe-san is the professional at picking up the scraps when the guys in front of him come to tears, Alex, and he's looking like he's trying to set himself up for that again here. Although, come the last couple of laps, we could see Kawabe-san starting to show his aggression and try to work his way through these 4 guys ahead of him. But it's definitely going to be a tall order here, especially with how big the draft is coming up the hill, as it looks like O'Fray trying to make the move on. Guidi gets it done coming into turn 11. But we'll see how they shape up coming out of turn 12 here, going up the hill to that final chicane again, Alex.
Yeah, that's where the action can happen. Of course, these 5 definitely broken the back of this race after the incidents behind Swarovski, still in that island, although Lean chasing down. What are they going to do this time round? Guidi defending. Maddock really trying to get amongst it here, but they go line of stern sensibly. Now, I can't imagine... Oh, there you go. That's what I was talking about, the over-under there. Oh, I was going to say Maddock, and then O'Fray cut him off and said, no, sir, not this time round. Lean now on that recovery drive, driving hard on the front of this pack with Carvial, Tellini and Martin behind him. All of them trying to catch Swarovski, who's now 2 seconds ahead and holding his own, to be fair. He's really come on strong this season, but he is some 6.5 seconds off the back as this front pack. There you go. 2 by 2, Noah's Ark style through turn 1. They get it sorted okay. I tell you, these guys will be pushing hard and fast, as they say in the classics. Still side by side through the stadium section now. It's O'Fray and Roberts. Roberts just with his nose ahead now, coming through turn 4 this time round. O'Fray has to yield and settle for 4th. Meanwhile, Kawabe is still quietly sitting there in the background, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And Kawabe, he's just taking his time here. He knows these guys in front of him are probably going to have contact at some point in this race, especially with how aggressively they're driving in front of him right now. And he just doesn't want to get into it right now, which is very understandable. He's just playing that long game, which we always love to see him do. As I'm going to have a look at this second pack, Lean, Tellini, and Carvial, and they're definitely starting to catch up to Swarovski here. Corey Lean actually starting to pull away from these guys a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, he is. He's starting to get a little bit of a gap, although on the gap watch in front of him, it's actually opened up by 0.3. Swarovski driving away from Lean at this stage, and he in turn has now got a 1 second gap over Tellini, who's on the head of that pack, and Martin doing his own impersonation of Kawabe-san on the back of that pack, just sitting and waiting, biding his time, although he's going to go side by side through 10 this time round. Will not... Oh, will pick up the 1X on the exit of 10, and that has not set up his run for 11. Meanwhile, up front, the leading pack says we'll go side by side into the chicane. We know there's about... Oh, how's the braking from O'Fray up the inside? Thank you for coming. But he won't get the drive out, and it'll be Vaughan Roberts, who gets the drive out. And that's the move you can make there. Outside on the entry, inside on the exit, and through the final corner. And that's how you can get a pass done and a win if you play your cards right, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. It's all about trying to plan those moves for later in the race right now. Although Afray starting to get affected by his internet there a little bit. Just blinked out a couple of times going along the front straight. But how's the dive bomb coming into turn 1? He's going to be on the outside for turn 2 here, which is not going to be to his benefit. You can see he pulled up there to allow Roberts to get through. Trying to go for an over-under. Not going to pull that one off this time. It's good to see Afray starting to get that little bit aggressive. He might be starting to get a little bit bored, Alex.
Oh, I don't think it's the same boredom as last time. He's really got to work hard to get forward in that pack to be in it for the victory at the end. I think that's what he's thinking at the moment. 3 and a bit laps to go. He needs to be further forward in this pack if he's going to play a part in that top step on the podium. Now, Corey Lean is now, what's that? Where's Sorowski? 2.5 seconds up the road. So Sorowski really showing that he's got the pace to break the back of the guys behind. Lean and Carvial, they are going strong with Tellini and Martin now left to fight out for 9th and 10th. At the back of that pack, strung out as it might be. Meanwhile, back up front, it's still Geedy out in front of Maddock, Vaughan Roberts, and O'Fray with Kawabe-san just quietly biding his time on the rear as per usual.
Actually, looks like Geedy's starting to get a little bit of a gap here over these guys behind. I'm not sure that was his plan, as there's big move there for P2, and Roberts taking all of the runoff and then some. O'Fray almost having to look up the inside of Maddock there in turn 12. Not going to work out for him this time. But that race is still on for P2 here. And Geedy is actually pulling away here a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, that's what the battling will do. Look at O'Fray. Really, is he going to make it through? Oh, no, he's going to tuck in behind. Oh, that's so close. He's busting to have a look there. He's tried the outside last lap. He's going to try the inside this time round. He'll get the inside run into the final corner. But has that cost them any chance of the win? That's the question, because it's now a full nearly a 1.1 second gap. He'll have to tuck in behind Will O'Fray if he wants Roberts to be able to catch the guys in front in this draft, because they haven't made a dent even with the toe up this front straight, Corey, and that could be the pivotal moment where this becomes a race in 2 rather than a race in 5.
That's exactly right, Alex, because Maddock was well and truly in the draft of Geedy there, which would have been pulling him away from Roberts just ever so slightly. So Roberts and Afray and Kawabe are going to have to put in a lot of work now to close that gap, especially with just the sum of about 2 3/4 laps to go here. It's definitely going to be a tall order for these guys, but I reckon, with Afray being in this pack and same with Kawabe, they would definitely have the skill to get it done. But whether they got the time to get it done is probably where I'd be starting to question. There's a big drift for Roberts going through, what was that, turn number 6 there. What an incredible slide that was, Alex.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because O'Fray now putting his authority as the poor runner. Vaughan Roberts cost them dearly, as it might turn out to be, as now Kawabe-san starts showing the nose. As soon as that gap looked like it started to appear out of the final chicane, you could see O'Fray immediately back off, tuck him behind and minimise the threat that he presented to Vaughan Roberts, because he recognised straight away that the gap was forming, and if they kept battling, they'd lose it. As it turns out, the mistake from Vaughan Roberts probably cost them anyway, as the 2 up front now of Geedy and Maddock look to drive away with it. They will stay line astern and not battle to run the risk of the 3 chasing behind them catching up. They'll have a crack in the last lap for sure, but I think it'll be until then before we see them battling again, as Sorowski continues to run a lonely race. Lean and Carvial, they appear to have broken the back of Martin and Tellini, who are now 1.7 seconds behind. And no longer a threat to them by the looks. 3 cars into the final chicane in that second pack, led by O'Fray, followed by Vaughan Roberts and Kawabe. Meanwhile, up front, It is Maddock now who takes the lead from Geedy. Geedy will no doubt draft pass up this front straight again, trying to build that gap, which is now 1.7 seconds, Corey.
It's incredible what these guys are doing right now. Just these couple of little different bits of strategy, and the whole landscape of this race has changed completely. As you can see, side by side, go our 2 leaders into turn number 1. Giddy should be able to get that position quite easily as they come out of it. Matic giving him the lead and just tucking straight in behind. Frey's still leading this second pack though, so these guys aren't doing that leapfrog technique, which could end up biting them here. But I think Frey is a little bit of once bitten, twice shy as far as letting Roberts ahead of him, who had another slide there going through turn 3, Alex.
Yeah, and that's put an end to that little question mark of whether they'd battle or not. It won't be until the last lap, and I can't see a Frey bridging a 1.7 second gap in the final lap unless Matic and Getty really start putting on a show. Meanwhile, Swarovski still running a lonely race there. P6 is where he's headed, although two spots down from where he started. Carvial and Lean showing that he likes to lead the pack whichever one he finds himself in, with Carvial behind. Martin now ahead of Tellini. Tellini just looking to take his time, I think, settling just perhaps for 9th if he can get it out of this battle for 9th and 10th. Nathan Wade recovering against Simone Zamolo. He's Iglesias in his first drive here on a Sunday night. He's recovering. Ueda similarly. Loa and Ferreira, they're our final 2 drivers in this pack. Meanwhile, in this race, I should say, Matic all over the tailpipe of Geedy this time round. Corello pulls out of the draft. Is he going to make a move this time round? No, he's just going to settle in behind and save it all for the final roll of the dice.
And that's what we're expecting right here, Alex. Also expecting that to happen in the second pack here with Frey, Roberts, and Kawabe-san. And, it's just the way that it always goes as we come through the final corner now. For the penultimate time in this race, we're going to get the white flag as they come along the front straight here, which means white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. And we could still see maybe the second pack here come up and take the win here, Alex, because Geedy and Matic, I'm expecting them to battle pretty hard here on the last lap, and they could end up throwing it away completely.
Well, I think the battle start taking place from about turn 10. They'll exit the turn 7 hairpin for the final time, and then they'll both have a strategy in mind. It's who executes the better will obviously take out the race on the day. Frey, similarly, will be thinking strategy in his battle with Vaughan Roberts and Kawabe. Kawabe, the Japanese driver, having a stellar breakout season by his standards, a couple of podiums, and now staring down the barrel of perhaps another one, but certainly a top 5 at this stage, all going to plan, with Geedy and Matic now coming to run down through 5 and 6. As I said, this is a very pivotal moment in this race as we see the 2 front drivers now as we hop on board with George Matic, the UK&I driver. What's he going to do on exit here? You'll see the draft come into play here. He's got the tighter line there. The question is, will he make a move at the top of the hill? Geedy leaves the door open, does he? No, it's not quite yet, because you want to maximise your entry angle there. Is he going to have a look? It sounds like he's backed out. Geedy taking a slightly defensive line that time round. And no, he's not going to look. He's going to leave it all to the final chicane. What about this second pack? Similarly, although Vaughan Roberts was right on the tail of O'Fray there. Meanwhile, back up front, he shows the nose. There does Matic on the exit of turn 11. Now up the straight for the final time. What line will Geedy take? Will he take he opts for the inside through the chicane. This will be interesting. What can they do in the braking zone? Quiet and half a nose. Big brakes. Very big brakes there for the Movano Sim Racing Ludwig Geedy, but Matic will have the drive out, but straight over to cut him off is Geedy. It's Geedy's race to lose now. Little contact there. That's all right. These boys are getting it done similarly behind, but it will be Geedy on his return to Sunday Night Lights who takes it out here. First time winner here at our first visit to the Nürburgring GP, Corey.
And what an incredible race that was towards the end there. Those guys played a nice, patient game, waiting for the last lap there. And Geedy, just with his superior skill there, managing to come home with the win. Afraid coming home with third. He was very happy about it, doing a little bit of a drifting show coming along the front straight there. But these guys definitely turned it up for us, Alex, for the return to the Nürburgring, and definitely not disappointed one bit.
No, this the ring showing once again. It's a great track, really well suited. The Grand Prix circuits don't suit everyone in a skippy, but I think this is a pretty good representation of what you can get done here. The strategy there into the final chicane very evident, and I thought the effort of Geedy there to come across and cover the inside. Plenty of folks can learn from that. He did it timely enough, so it wasn't a block. But certainly to his advantage, because it's very easy to go over under there on the exit of that final chicane and come through for the win. As we see Ferreira, our final competitor, round out his night here tonight, as we might take a look at our results. For Sunday Night Lights, Season 24, Round 11 from Nürburgring GP layout. We had Ludwig Geedy from Ivano Sim Racing making a very successful return, taking out the win from George Maddock, the UK&I driver, getting what I think might be his best result there in second. Third, and the final spot on the podium went to Julian O'Fray, who managed to hang on and lead that second pack once they lost the draft of the leading pair. Nick Vaughan Roberts, the Welshman for Two Fools Racing. I think is his debut, manages a great finish in P4. Gol Kawabe, the Japanese driver, Kawabe-san finishing in fifth, not managing to advance from that position that he held for pretty much every lap. Vasco Sorowski, the leading ANZ driver, in sixth, followed by his ANZ compatriot Corey Lean on his recovery drive after picking up that early, very big slowdown on lap one. Danny Carvial from Iberia in eighth. Giuseppe Tellini for Doctors Wave Italy. He's finished in ninth. Braden Martin, the ANZ driver for Locked On iRacing, rounding out the top 10. Nathan Wade for UK&I in 11th. Simone Zamolo in what I think is his debut, rounding out the Sunday Night Lights point scoring positions. Koti Iglesias from Iberia in his debut finishing in 13th. And another debut tonight, I think, Hiroshi Ueda, the Japanese driver, finishing in 14th. Christian Loa, he's managed 15th. Gonzalo Ferreira we saw across in 16th. And Xavier Sanchez, down 7 laps, our only retirement tonight in 17th position, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Unfortunately for Sanchez, he was looking pretty good early on, but incident that we had in the final chicane there definitely put an end to his race. But it was just a great race all around. A little bit of strategy, a little bit of drama, and it all just culminated in what was definitely a really good finish there for just everyone in that top five, just battling it out hard. And it's great to see everyone come out of it on the other side and still kept going.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a few of our drivers in the green room waiting to come up for a chat, including our winner, Mr. Ludwig Geedy from Ivano Sim Racing. Welcome back, Ludwig. Not a better way to come back can be found than taking out P1 at our first visit to Nurb GP. How was the racing out there, Ludwig?
Hello, guys. Yeah, super happy with the win. Delighted. Actually, it's a track that I really like in the sense that it brings back some good memories where I won the Formula Renault 2-liter championship. So it's a really fun track to drive, actually. Shame about the draft, but for the rest, yeah, I think I was pretty competitive in the sense that I could do the pole, I think, easily. Just did a couple of mistakes and took the slowdown. For the rest, race went pretty well, I have to say. For some reason, we managed to split with the group. Was a bit worried that George would attack. That's what I asked. At some point, I left and let him go. And yeah, really fun last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I've been looking forward to coming to this track for a long time. It's been on the service for 5 years, and it's our first trip here. Really enjoyed the racing here, and it sounds like you do too, mate. So congratulations on taking out the win here tonight. Fantastic racing and fantastic result. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, to you guys, as always, to my team, my family. So yeah, they were pretty supportive during the whole year. So they are watching the race as it's the real racing, I would say. So yeah, as I said to you guys, because you are doing really well.
Thanks, Ludwig. Really appreciate it, mate. And thank you for coming back to round out the season with us again. It's great to see you back after a couple of weeks off. Congratulations again, and we look forward to speaking to you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, perfect. See you next week. Bye bye.
There you go, Corey Ludwig Geedy, the family at home. G'day to everyone watching Ludwig at home. He's done a fantastic job as always, put on a great show and took out a famous victory. So great to have him back, Corey.
Exactly right, Alex, and great to have him come into the Discord as well. Always love hearing from Ludwig, and he's always just been such a great racer and a great supporter of what we do here. I'm glad to see him get a win right here at Nürburgring, a track that I personally absolutely love, and I think we should have it more often. And hopefully, he can come back next week when we go to Long Beach and absolutely smash the competition once more.
Yeah, that's the plan. Let's see if he can execute at Long Beach. That'll be an interesting one, that's for sure. All right, let's get our second place, or third place, I should say, tonight. He was in it up to his eyeballs for a long time, but Julian O'Fray joins us after managing third here tonight. A little mini victory in taking out that second pack, showing his strategy at the end there was successful. But Julian, have you found the racing here, our first trip to Nürburgring?
Yeah, yeah, like you said, a mini victory. I tried to cut the draft a bit to overtake the guy in front of me, but I do it so hard then we just can catch them after. That's stupid, but it's happened. And yeah, 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 it was more fun than the last race last week. Um, the rhythm is better, so it's harder to do things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really, really, really better.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a good track for Skippy Racing, as we suspected it might be. A lot of fun, and it's brought a lot of people out to have a crack, which has been great, mate. So, listen, congratulations on your third place tonight. I thought you drove well, and once that gap opened up, it was always going to be a battle for third, which you managed that little mini victory that we talked about. So, congratulations, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh yeah, for one time I have someone else than you to thanks. This is the customer service at Pimax. I had a trouble after an NVIDIA update, and I contact them, and they was so reactive. I can race today. So I want really thank them for this. Yeah.
Beautiful. Nothing like getting the support you need when you need it. And we're all the better for it because you got to race tonight. So that's fantastic. Well, congratulations again, Julian, and hopefully more good results for you next week.
Oh, I think it was the last season race. No,
No, no,
there is
we're
one
at,
more week.
yeah, Long Beach next week. That
Oh
concrete
yeah.
hell.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
very good.
Okay, well, so see you next week. So
Very good. All right,
bye bye.
Julian. See you, mate. There you go, Corey. Caught everyone by surprise. Once again, we head to Long Beach next week for the final round, but that's Julian O'Fray, who, got a good bit of support and help to get him back on the track this week.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Glad that he got the support that he needed to get back on track. Always love seeing Julian on track, and he's such a tenacious driver. He struggled a little bit last season, but he's definitely started to find some of that form that he had a few seasons ago when there was two cars in the Red Face Racing team, and they were dominant each and every single week. Hopefully, we see him back again next week, and hopefully another good result because I always love hearing a happy Julian. And we could tell that he's happy because he did that little bit of drifting at the end of this race, which is always fantastic to see.
Yeah, I love the excitement in his voice when there's an extra week to go. That's brilliant. All right. Now, making his debut in the commentary box this week for a post race interview is our sixth place finisher here and leading ANZ driver, Mr. Vasco Sorowski. Welcome, mate. Congrats on the
Hello,
result
boys.
here tonight. And tell us, mate, how was it out there for you?
Mate, it was, boys, firstly, you do a wonderful job. Thank you for having us. All, all that sort of stuff, it's all good. The boys were quite quick, and I was actually really worried because we've been struggling over the weekend for some reason. We just couldn't get back on the pace, and we did. And we're comfortably sitting in fourth, I think it was at the time, and life was good. And then we had the internet drop on the main straight, and everyone reappeared turning turn one, and I ended up in exactly the same spot in the main straight, which was something very different. But anyway, we finished happy. It's my highest finished here, and yeah, very happy.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, that's dropping off to a parallel dimension to a whole new level, mate. That'll turn your night left ways and sideways, that's for sure. But still, it was really impressive, mate. Once you clearly had the pace, because once you had that gap, and you're in that little island there. I thought Lean's always had the pace at most of these tracks, but he couldn't bridge the gap, mate. So that's a good benchmark, and certainly showed you had the run of it here tonight once you had your chance. So hopefully that augurs well for either next week in our final round, but of course, hopefully we'll see you back next season as well.
Mate, thank you guys. Your broadcast this Sunday nights has it really lifted my game, and I can't thank you guys enough for it. So yes, and like I said, you guys do awesome, and the guys out there, mate, they're quick. They're very fast. I was sweating the whole way. They're very fast.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You know you've had a good night out when you finish the race and you got
Yeah.
a bit of sweat to wipe off the brow. So, mate, that's why we do it. That's why, mate, appreciate the feedback. And honestly, we do it as much for the local boys as anything else to get some of the best of the best to come out and challenge yourself. And that's the kind of story we like to hear, mate. So thank you for sharing that. While we got you here, though, mate, and before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, mate, that one's easy. The boys that are pushing me along, Justin Watt, who you've seen in here last week and the week before, he's becoming a bit too competitive for me, so I've got to try to lift my game a bit. Mate, Martin Lanza, who does all our software stuff and has a magnificent dash set up for us and everything else, and another mate, Doug Robson, who does really, really well in helping us get through and lifting us up again. So, yeah, thanks, boys.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. And we look forward to seeing these results continue and maybe talking to you again in the coming weeks, mate.
Thanks. Cheers, boys. Have a good one. Thank you.
There you go. That's what we like to hear. But you could hear the smile and the enjoyment in his words there, Corey, and that's what brings us back each week.
That's exactly right, Alex. And great to have Savosky finally come into the Discord and have a chat with us. He definitely sounds like a very excited character here. It'd be great to see what he can do as the future comes up, especially when we do start getting Bathurst back onto the schedule as well. I reckon he'll be definitely one to look out for there, and even in just the near future. Because he's definitely, as he said, been picking up his game a little bit here, and that definitely shone through here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Of course, we know every ANZ driver grows an extra cylinder at the Bathurst track, so hopefully it'll be on the schedule soon. But certainly, Sorowski's really shown that the improvements there, and he's come along leaps and bounds. He wasn't guaranteed a run in the top split early on. He was car 14 here tonight, but he certainly showed that the number on there, it really doesn't represent the talent out there, and he's right. The guys out there are quick. So if he's in and amongst it, that's a very exciting proposition for the local folks as well. But folks, that might just about do us for this week. Corey, do you want to tell the folks at home what you got coming up?
So throughout the week, I'll be popping up to do a little bit of streaming on the Grand Theft Auto servers, which is always a little bit of fun. I got 3 characters on that now, so be rotating through them a little bit. On Wednesday at about 11:20 Western Australian time, we'll be going to the final round of Season 2 2021 here for the Output Racing League over on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator, for the Autism Awareness 110 from the Texas Motor Speedway Oval, which will be an enjoyable race to watch. And then we got the next round of the Night Owl Racing League that should be coming up on Tuesday at around about the same time. I'm not sure what track that one's going to be at, but I know it's going to be a dirt oval. Pretty sure it's not going to be one that I'm going to be too fond of. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. We got NIS on Friday in the morning, and then I'm not going to be back here next week with you, Alex. I'm going to be taking the week off to go spend it with my dad.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we'll have, by the looks of it, Mr. Timmy Gorkocher joining us next week. So thank you to Corey for his work this season. It's been brilliant, as always. Now, check out, of course, I was away last week, so I didn't get a chance to do the wrap, but we'll certainly be doing this one this week on the Locked On iRacing podcast, where you can find all of the news and views of the local ANZ iRacing scene. And, of course, thank you to everyone who supports the stream by subscribing. We've got a core bunch of folks really dedicated and really help us throughout. But check out the Discord, which is where you find all the latest Sunday Night Lights news and the overall championship standings, as well as how to get your name and your team name in the broadcast overlays. Top Split YouTube is where you'll find this and all the other race broadcasts. And the history of MNL and SNL history. And, of course, Top Split TV is where you'll find us each and every week on a Sunday night. But for now, folks, thank you for your support, both on track and off. We always say this is for the community, by the community, and that's how we like it. But until next time, folks, and on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar, and I'll say ciao for now.